basically look at art directing a space, or I would say bringing character to a space. We're always looking at trends. So we generally do or work on things which are trending or have information on what is trending.
Today on Drawing Board with Collins, we have with us interior stylist Vaishali Shah. She started out doing advertising and worked with the biggest brands like Supreme Plastics, with Lakme Fashion Week, and now she's working as an interior stylist, and she'll be able to tell us a lot more about design. So Vaishali, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Vaishali, first of all, for the audience, we need to tell them that you're not an interior designer, you're not a quintessential architect. So you're an interior stylist. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So sometimes the roles overlap a little, and there can be more than one answer to this. But in all honesty, a stylist is somebody who typically has come out from, styling or designing from a creative field of either advertising or filmmaking or magazine or publication designing, some sort of designing. So they extend, like in my case, I came out from advertising. So, you extend your design and creative sensibilities to something a little more, which is a 3D or a space design. So stylists typically basically look at art directing a space, or I would say bringing character to a space. So it includes furniture, of course, but artifacts, art, plants, all the decor accessories, furnishing and fabric stories in a room. So these are the things that a stylist will look at. Also, I think that stylists, because they're always in the, so to speak, fashion affiliated industry, we're always looking at trends. So we generally do or work on things which are trending or have information on what is trending. And also, I think stylists have had extensive research or work in sourcing. So we source a lot. So that becomes a big part of what we do, which is sourcing what's unique and what's different. Eventually, it's what helps to make the space come alive. That's the whole purpose. So there is a little bit of overlap with interior designers, but I would say that there is also a distinction.
Right. So this is not something which is happening just because a person is tasteful. There's a lot of research and there's a lot of study that goes into this, I believe.
I would think that a good stylist, that's how I've been sort of brought into this foray, is that you study the place, the space, and the people who are going to use that, and you understand what is it that they want out of it, and then you try and push that envelope a little further and make it edgier and make it nicer and make it unique for that person. That's the whole thing that makes a place come alive. Typically meant to be an office in Nariman Point for a technology company, and then later on they realize that this space they want to use for Fashion Week work, and they wanted to use it for their sports, and therefore they had a lot of designers, they had a lot of athletes coming into the space. So the purpose of the office changed. So I, with my ex-advertising boss Elsie Nanji, who's actually brought me into this foray, we turned the place around and gave it character which was more youthful, which was more fashion-oriented, which had a sports sort of connection to it. So giving character to a space is, I think, what stylists would do. So the place could already be clad, as in the flooring, the ceiling, the fans could already be put into place, and we come on board at that time. Contrary to that, we could start working from the very beginning when the space is down in rubble and coming up, because we can even ideate along with the architect as to what are the things that we can bring on board.
And because you are working with the taste and the story of every individual, you are able to keep your preferences and your style away from it, like not impose your ideas on the person.
So I'll tell you, we definitely, each stylist has their sense of design and sensibility and their creative edge, each person does. So I would think that before we start working with the client, for both the client and our best interest, I would think that both of us should have a conversation and understand what our sensibilities are, because it's odd if it towards the halfway through the journey if we realize that we don't have the similar sensibilities. So I think it's best if we work it out and we understand that our design sensibilities are similar, we like each other's taste, or we like each other's ideas, and then we can start working on it together. So it'll never be imposing, because we will always add on to what they wanted or what they desired, or even if what kind of a person they are, you know. So for example, we had done somebody's house who's in the newspaper business. So I remember considering that, you know, for little knickknacks around, we would use newspaper art and craft to put it up in their library space. So, you know, it brings some of what they do or their character into the home.